Zachariah, or Blessed Zachariah, and my wife, Sunitha, my son Aaron, and Michaela are here. My oldest daughter, Kezia, is not here. She's stuck in the Caribbean in medical school. I want to bring her greetings. My mom and dad bring their well wishes for this special occasion. My dad is Alex Upapin's older brother, and I wanted to, just share a few words, a few thoughts about this special occasion. First, I want to begin by explaining, because I'm going to keep saying Alex Upapin all the time. And Upapin, in our language, Malayalam, comes from Appa, which is father, older brother or uncle. But it's, my relationship with Upapin is in many ways much more than that, than just an uncle. I also call Amama Prema Amama. And Amama comes from Amma, Amma's mother. So it's, again, a very dear relationship, and they're very, very close to me. So I want to begin by saying essentially that I guess I'm one of the 3 lucky people who actually were there at the wedding. So now you can calculate how old I am, but that's okay. Just for the record, I was 3, okay? Yeah, I know you could do it. All right, I want to begin with a few memories of Alex Upapin. Many ways, he was my hero. He was so tall, so good-looking, so fit. He's still tall, good-looking and fit. So I really appreciate Alex Upapin. My earliest memories, I have so many memories. I was trying to figure out, because of course Ajay knows how much I like to talk, and told me very precisely I got about 4.5 minutes. So I had to pick the memories that really mattered. And I begin with my earliest memory. And my earliest memory that I have of Alex Upapin is he took me to a movie, a Laurel and Hardy movie in Bombay. And we're in a double-decker bus, and we're in the top bus, and top part of the double-decker bus. And I had my arm out the window, of course, being a kid and that kind of stuff. And Alex Upapin very calmly said, that's perfectly fine, hold your hand out the window, but just remember when we go around the corner up there, it's going to get broken. Very calm, and I immediately panicked. And so many years later, always, I would be scared of putting my hand out the window because of that thing. And what I remember is Alex Upapin was so calm when he said it, and that's so different than my own father, because Upapin was always been very calm and kind. My earliest memory of Amama was actually when we visited Ludhiana. And Amama knew I liked food, as you can clearly see. But anyways, she would always, make good food and everything else. And one of the things that I still remember, was very little, is that at that time they had mango pulp in their fridge. And this is something I'd never tasted in Bombay. And I couldn't believe it was in their fridge. And Mama brought it for me and gave me some. And then even over the objections of my mother, gave me extra. So it was one of my earliest memories. So I've many times associate mango pulp with the mama. Alex Upapin was someone who gave me a lot of advice as I was growing up. As a teenager, we always have different understandings of what our father thinks about and stuff like that. And he really helped me understand my dad, and to go through life issues. As a teenager, you're always convinced that your parents have no clue what's going on. And Alex Upapin was so good. He explained things, he talked to me about God, he talked to me about life, he talked to me about career so many times. He would, and the neat thing is that he didn't necessarily treat me as a son, but almost like a younger brother. It was much closer in some ways. That we would have these long conversations, we'd go on these walks, and we'd just spend a lot of time talking, and he was so kind, and his insights and his thoughts has affected my life greatly, and I'm so grateful. One of the things that he taught to me was how important it was to marry the right person, to have the importance of having and picking the right wife, to have a wife who can support you, who can talk to, who you can talk to, who can inspire you. And he explained how much he loved Amama Prem Mama and how much she helped him in his walk of faith and many of his accomplishments. So in many ways, as I was growing up, I was determined to find someone who could be like that for me. Prema was someone who would inspire me and support me, help me, achieve many of the things. And God has been very kind, because I have a wife who's like that, Sunitha, who does just that. So you know, it's been quite a while that Papan has shared his insights and his thoughts with me. You know, and there's lots of sayings. I picked a couple that I thought would be particularly apropos for Alice Papan. One of the things is, you know, you can have a choice. You can either be a light or a mirror. And I think Alice Papan is a light. He's one that brings light to the people around him. He you know, shines and gives light to people. He's so positive and has such a positive attitude with the people around him that we all get uplifted. You know, as they say, you know, who cares about the weather if you can bring your own sunshine? And I think that's what Alice Papan does. He brings sunshine around. His happiness is infectious, you know, and he is always positive and pushes and gets us motivated and everything else. The other thing about Alice Papan is that he's never satisfied with the status quo. He's always trying new things. Even now he's trying new things. I'm in awe of all the things that he tries to do and you know, sends us information on new things. And he's always a great teacher, you know, and teaches us on so many things. I think he teaches best by example. You know, he doesn't necessarily just tells you. He tells you, you know, he walks the walk and talks the talk. He actually does these things. Like, he's telling me about my need to exercise and what to eat. I mean, I'm 50, or 52, but, you know, he's still telling me all these things. And, you know, of course, I think I'm in that small group of people who gets those emails about how many miles he bicycles and walks and carries 70 pounds on his shoulders while he does this exercise. And I'm going, okay, all right, I know I'm not up there yet. But you know, it's amazing how much he does. Papan also, I really calls everybody on their birthdays, calls people just you know, so many times. And there's a word in our I'm a professor in a business school, and in the business lexicon we use the word connector. A connector is a person who is able to take dissimilar people and make connections. And that's not an easy set. There's an actual term for that. People whose ability to not just network for themselves, but say that this person should communicate with this person because they'll both be better. And when I thought of that, I thought of Alice Papan. He's a connector. He connects different people, finds things that are of interest, common interest for them, and gets them connected. And he does that so well. And you know, whenever he calls me and we talk for a while, and doesn't, you know, it's just happening on the birthday. Anytime he calls me, always makes it a point to give the phone to Prema Mama, you know, and he always, that's such a thing that you really have to admit that the key for us about him to be successful is Prema Mama. Prema Mama, you know, really supports him, encourages him to do his best. That connection that we've had, you know, I mean, I know there's so many stories, I'm sure some of you will be sharing those stories, but Alice Papan makes cappuccino for Mama every morning, you know, so that she comes down, it's ready for her. Excuse me, and that really is part of their special love, their times that they share, that love that have helped them have 50 years of wedded bliss. And as Alvin said, there's lots of ups and downs and lots of joy, and it really has been special. So, you know, I didn't take a second at all to talk about their many accomplishments and all the things that both of them have done. I'll leave that to other people. But, you know, as a parent, I'm much more proud of my children and their accomplishments than anything that I've been lucky enough to do. And I think it is really a blessing, a testimony to both of them that they have 3 wonderful, amazing children and 7 amazing grandchildren. That is such a blessing. And then as the extended family that are here, you know, when you, I've had occasion to talk to people. I remember meeting a family, an older couple. They had 3 children, and 2 of the children, you know, they were successful, but one child had lots of difficulties, and all they would talk about was this other child. And I felt really sad. You know, they were not necessarily happy. And as a parent, to have children that are happy gives you joy, and I think that really is a testament to Alex Papan and Prema. So on this occasion, I want to wish you Papan and Prema from our family, you know, my mom and dad, and you know, Binu, Bak, Nathan, Sunny, Kezi, Aaron, and Michaela. Happy and blessed 50th wedding anniversary and many, many, many more returns of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This red wasn't on. It didn't record it too much. Oh, that's okay. I wanted you. Oh, I should have pressed the button.
Hi, I'm Nandita Barnabas, and the way I'm related to Auntie is that she is my daddy's baby sister. So my father is the second brother Joseph, and this is the littlest sister. So when I grew up, I didn't really have much to do with Auntie because she was in medical school and things like that. And then one fine day there was a wedding, and I was 3 years old, and I was told to be the flower girl of a young man she had met in medical school. And then comes a handsome Uncle Alex and Auntie, and I was a flower girl for the wedding. And by the way, I was 3 too. There you go, it dates me too. But happy wedding anniversary, Uncle and Auntie. Many blessings on you. I would like to start by reading a psalm for us. It's Psalm 23, verse 6. Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me, and in God's house forevermore my dwelling place shall be. We gather here together on this blessed occasion for the 50th anniversary celebration of Auntie, Mom and Dad to some, of Auntie Prema and Uncle Alex, their mom and dad to some, uncle and auntie to some, grandpa and grandma to others, and so on. This is a time of fellowship and sharing and meeting so much family that I had never had an opportunity to meet, and this is like a wonderful blessing. But it's also time to give thanks to the Almighty Heavenly Father, who's actually presiding over this blessed occasion today. And so I would like to say a small prayer. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for blessing us with Prema Auntie and Zach Uncle and the family and children and the extended family who are here with us today. You are the beginning and our end. So today we humbly bow down to thank you for all these people. We also thank you for the people who are with us no more, like Appa and Amma and Johnny Uncle and Philip Uncle and my father Joseph, the ones who have passed away. We also pray for the family members and the loved ones that couldn't be with us today. Cover us all with your precious blood, take care of us, and as we gather together in your name. Amen. So what I wanted to tell you was Auntie Prema Auntie has been a great blessing to me personally. And I didn't know her, like I told you, they got married, and then my famous uncle with his ventriloquism used to tell everybody, he's like a movie star, and he does ventriloquism, and everybody like, wow, really, and he's so tall, he touches the sky. Like, really, right. But, it's been a blessing to know them. You won't believe it, but the first time we met Alvin, he was in a stroller. I don't know where they came from, but they had this little fellow in a stroller. Then the next time we had Ajay and Alina and Alvin come to visit us in Ahmednagar. And there was this little thing with 2 pigtails calling Ajay and running. The next time I saw her, she was married the next time I saw this child, she was married with 2 children. I do know that they have always had Christ as the center of their lives, and we do remember receiving Christmas cards from all of you. And the thing that has always stuck with me in terms of memory is this little baby girl, Alina, going across the border with Bibles to China to distribute Bibles, and that's always touched me. It's like, wow. And all 3 of them, they are wonderful cousins to have, and it's a true blessing for me to be privileged to be standing up here talking, and it all goes back to the little baby sister, Aunt Prema Auntie. Auntie and I also have developed a really strong bond over the recent times. Excuse me. She and I have been doing Bible study, and she kind of has brought me closer to the Lord. And there's one thing that I learned from her. She's a quiet person, but a real genuine person with the biggest heart I ever know. She has given me so much strength through so many hard times that I've been through. And all she always says to me is, Christ is the center of your life. Trust in His strength. Trust in Him, and He will be with you always. And for that, I thank you, Auntie. She has been a real blessing. We study together, we pray together. And Alina, I want to thank you too for embracing me and my children, for making us feel that we are loved and wanted. And this occasion is a wonderful moment for me to say thank you to Satnam and Alina for opening their arms and always inviting us into your homes and treating us as your own. So for that I thank you, and Uncle and Auntie, many blessings and many, many wonderful years together. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandita. That was very beautiful. I think Ravi's next.
Hi, my name is Ravi and I come from Chicago. I'm related to Auntie Prema because she's the youngest sister of my dad, who's the oldest in the family. He couldn't be here with us, but he's with us in spirit and in prayers. And I speak for everyone when I say that we are very honored and thankful that we are part of this wonderful occasion, this glorious occasion of spending 50 years together. Anybody who knows Auntie Prema and Uncle Zach know one thing that we take away from them. And the only thing that's important is their dedication to the service of the Lord. Everything they do is in God's name, is for the honor of Christ, and they're an inspiration to everybody who meets them. Unfortunately, I lost touch with them. I was one of the 3 original people who were part of the wedding, but I'm not going to say how old I was because I don't want to give my age away here. But my fondest memories of Uncle Zach are when he came with the kids, like Annie was saying, and we had a little function in the biochemistry department. And he had a ventriloquist performance that was not short of amazing. And I was so taken up by that. And the memories of Auntie Prema are that she was a wonderful sportsman. She ran like the wind, had many medals. She and my other uncle Philip were all like gold medalists for the university and everything else. Then we lost touch with them, and then my daughters came here to Urbana, and lo and behold, we found that Auntie and Uncle and the kids are here. And Alina, with her great hospitality, has always kept her house open for us. And when we met Auntie and Uncle, I was so refreshed to know that their dedication to the Lord even grew more. They had, like Nanny said, taken Bibles to China at the risk of life and persecution, which we in the United States have no idea of. We have no persecution here for being believers, and we take things for granted. But how much more for those people in China and other places like in Arabia and all, where even going to church or being caught distributing a Bible can end up in long prison terms or even loss of life and limb. So they not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. And their dedication and inspiration in the service of the Lord is shown in their kids. Each one of these kids are amazing in their own way. Alina, with her hospitality, her lovely hymns, just 2-3 weeks ago she sent Yvette, my wife here, a little video of singing a beautiful Hindi hymn, which I'm going to look on YouTube to get. And Ajay and Alvin also, 2 stalwarts, 2 great warriors for the cause of Christ. So what I can say is their inspiration is great. About 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I got this call and looked at my phone and it was Uncle Zach calling. So I said, "Hi Uncle, what's going on?" He says, "Oh, listen, I have this friend of yours who's in India who you haven't talked to in 30 years, and this is his number, please call him. And I said, who's that? And he said, Dr. Matthews. And I said, oh, Dr. Matthews used to be my roommate, and I've been trying to find him for 30 years. So Uncle was a connector. I called up, and we talked for a long time, about 2 weeks ago, and we did all our memories and everything else. So like Mr. Blessing said earlier, he's a connector. And like he says, everywhere he goes, he connects people, but not only to each other, but to Christ. And that is one of the most amazing things of all. In closing, I just want to read a part of Proverbs, which I want to close with, and it's Proverbs 3, where it says, and I dedicate it to them, is my son, forget not my law, keep thy heart with my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace they shall add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee, bind them upon their neck, and write them on the tablet of thy heart. So thou shalt find good favor and understanding in the sight of God and man. And Uncle and Auntie, you have done that. And for that I thank you. God bless you. May you have many, many, many more, and may you continue to be an inspiration to all the lives you touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ravi. Well, Ania Chine couldn't be here today, but he did send a message that he wanted us to read. If he was here, he would have spoken these words, so I'll read them. Again, this is Ania Chine and Leela Mama. I showed you their picture. They live in Cincinnati, is that correct?
Cleveland,
Ohio.
Ohio.
Okay, so here's his message. We are very sorry that we missed you. We are going to miss your 50th wedding anniversary celebration in spite of our deepest desires to be there. Congratulations for a life well lived and now living closer to your beloved children and grandchildren. What a blessing. Alex and I grew up together, first in Alumudo, Tiruvalla, in our maternal, and I'm too Americanized, in our maternal grandmother's house. That house was full of people and many cousins, but we were best of friends. Elders in the family were surprised we never fought or jealous of each other. We treated each other with great respect. Sunday afternoons we had to memorize the Psalms and recite before dinner to our uncles. We played together in the attic and on the dining table with our wild imaginations. We made our own toys with whatever we could pick up from the yard. Our happiest memory was always going together with other cousins to Alapi in the boat. Our aunt, Tankama, Amachi, and Apachan didn't have any children and would spoil us with the best of things. We went to the beach and park every day, and we were loved by everyone. Alex's mother, Mary Amachi, was Tiruella's YWCA secretary at that time, and it came to pass that Alex was not able to stay there anymore because of his age. The decision was made by the adults for him to come and stay with us in Kumbanag to continue his schooling. I was overjoyed. After a year, Alex's mother, my Mary Amachi, decided to settle down in her husband's ancestral home in Goranjeri. My parents decided that it is best not to separate us, so I went with Alex for 1 year. So you can see we were inseparable. After graduating from high school, Alex went to Madras Christian College. I went to Union Christian College, Alloway, in Kerala, that was modeled after the same ideal of Madras Christian College. Both colleges had the highest reputations at that time. Our relationship continued through letters and summer holidays. Whenever we can, we were always together, either in Kumbanag or in Goranjeri. After college, Alex got admission to CMC, or Christian Medical College, Ludhiana. I remember crying for several days. We still kept in touch with each other through letters. When he came for the summer holidays, we spent a lot of time together. Alex was not shy about sharing his new knowledge from medical school and life in North India. If I remember correctly, he shared his love and desire to marry Prema to me first. I kept it a secret as promised till he was ready to announce it with the family. We have to realize this was very non-traditional and took a lot of courage on Alex's part. In 1964, I was working as a YMCA secretary in Kottayam. Alex called me and told me that he wanted me to be his best man and I needed to stitch a suit. In those days, I had no idea what a best man was for. However, I was so moved that he chose me instead of one of his medical friends. We all gathered one day, including his mother, and all the aunts got on a train and headed to Ahmednagar. I remember clearly a basket full of fried sardines that was mostly consumed by the groom himself. It was a grand affair and the best wedding I attended so far. After the marriage, most of us went to Bellapur to my grandmother's sister's house and enjoyed her hospitality and generosity. After their wedding, we went our separate ways because of studies and jobs. During one of our trips to India in 1979, Alex insisted we visit him in Ludhiana for his 40th birthday. So we did. It was a memorable visit and preached at the Presbyterian Church in Ludhiana. After so many years of separation, our paths met again in USA. They visited us in Cleveland also. Alex kept in touch with extended family and informed us of all important events. During our travels around the world, we met several of Alex and Prema's students. They remember what good doctors and teachers they were. I was so proud to say I am his first cousin and best friend growing up. One of the great blessings in life is to have a supportive, loving wife. When we marry, we take a huge gamble. In both our cases, we were so lucky to have a partner in life who shared our dreams and all of life's unexpected challenges. We were also blessed with wonderful children and grandchildren. When I look back at our childhood, we did not worry about a lot of things that modern life brings. We lived very simple lives. We grew up with so much unconditional love. Our family instilled in us a deep faith and unwavering presence of God always. And I quote Psalm 116, verse 60 to 18. What can I give back to God for the blessings He's poured out on me? I will lift high the cup of salvation, a toast to God. I will pray in the name of God. I will complete what I promised God I would do, and I'll do it together with His people. Thanks be to God. So that was Anichayan's message. Okay, so we're gonna, does anyone want to say anything else? If not, we'll move to the dancing, to the dance first. Come on. Yes? Later? Okay. You'll tell them personally?
Later.
Okay, we actually moved to the dance first by Kristen and Sydney.
Oh.
Wow. This is a Moldavian gypsy dance.
Hi. This is a Moldavian gypsy dance, like my mom said, and it's one of our favorites, so enjoy.
wow.
Well, that was quite amazing. I think they're out of breath. So we're going to move on to the first generation children's song. So that's Binu and Chach and all of us sing, or Nandita singing, and Ravi. Which song are we
First
singing?
generation.
We're singing Top of the World.
Could we do what you did and just stand there?
Better than that, you can stand there and lip sync. Could you tell I didn't sing the last song? That was the first time I heard that. The first generation children.
No, I never. No, first
Such a feeling coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are here. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I've seen. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Something in the wind has learned my name, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the leaves on the trees and the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. Top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. You almost put me at the top of the world. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. You almost put me at the top of the world.
So now we're going to have the candle lighting, and Alina will get that set up. The candle lighting will be done by the two honored guests, the two honored people who are celebrating this event for, Alex and Prema Zachariah.
But don't you, doesn't the children want to say something? Like Alvin and... Oh, because it says Alvin, Ajay, and... Oh, sorry.
I'm anyone.
You're anyone. Okay, got it.
We'll have the candle. here's the unity candle that Sanjana is holding, and they'll light together. Thank you. This is where we'll put the picture. Okay, Alvin will actually give us a speech first. He's their firstborn son.
For the firstborn son, yes. For the sons and daughters.
And then Alina will speak after.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was a really good show so far, and really enjoyed it. And the dance routine made me tired. I keep thinking, I have an exercise routine that makes me tired. When I see this, it says, I think, wow, this is intense. But motivates us to get ourselves into shape too. My parents, I want to talk about them from a different perspective. All of you said some really wonderful things, and it's nice to know different angles, different point of views. Nan's point of view, she came from a different lens. Ravi's point of view, and Chach, everybody else gave their perspective. I've known them ever since I was born. I don't know if that means much, but anyway, it's just, I have to say it anyway. The earliest memory I have is in Indianapolis, breaking a door, and then being in a room after that and getting scolded for that. So I do remember my shoulder hurting after I broke that door. I guess my mom told the stories, I was wanting to play outside. She said no, and I demanded that I wanted to play outside. She kept saying no, and then I said, okay, forget it. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. So I slammed against the door. It was a double glass door, so it didn't break. So I thought, I can do it. I'm eating well. I felt I was strong. So I went the second and third time, and then finally, I think the third attempt, I went through the door. Of course, that shocked me because I didn't think it through, and I was on the other side of the door with glass all over me. And fortunately, nothing happened, but of course, even though the door might have hurt my shoulder, but I'm sure my butt was hurting later that evening. My dad came home. So that's why I remember that incident. I think that's the first remote memory I have of something happening. But that's, I deserved it. I can't just break glass doors when I feel like doing that. Anyway, my dad and mom have always been there for me, and I see them as really inspiring people. My parents were in Ludhiana. The longest memories I have were when I was growing up in Ludhiana. My dad and mom had this routine of waking up every morning at 6 and praying. And I never saw them miss a day doing that. Kind of, to this day, when I get up, I kind of think I need to actually step up to that standard. So when I pray later in the day, or if I sometimes forget to pray, which happens once in a while, I just go back to this time. I remember them sitting up, both of them in their bed, their backs against the wall, and they have a Bible in between them, and they're reading it. 6 in the morning, 6:30, something like that. And of course, my dad would come and bring me tea in the morning at 7:30 before I go to school, and milk. Milk and a biscuit. That's an example of service. So that was the earliest example of service that I had. And I think they still have that. In fact, it's multiplied so much more now. They reach out all over. In fact, they reach out a little too much, but if you actually look at the Bible, there's no such thing as too much. You just have to go on and on reaching out. There's no limit. Jesus didn't set a limit for any, I've done like 30 or 35 attempts today, or I've reached out to 30 people that stop, And then I don't have enough strength, or it's done, I fulfilled my quota. I never saw that with them. On and on they did that. My mom, of course, she was the head of a department in Ludhiana, where I grew up. I enjoyed going to her department because I get spoiled there. I'd sit there, and she'd have one of her assistants would come and give me tea, somebody else would drive me around in the car. It's kind of a nice perk of, having a mom who was running the department. Later on, my dad became principal, and I think that was a highlight of his career. Going to that's pinnacle, that's a top. When you reach became a principal of one of the premier institutions. In fact, I don't know if you guys know this, last week, India Today published CMC Ludhiana as the 17th best in India out of 200, 250 colleges, which is surprising because a lot of us thought Ludhiana is not doing well in recent years. It's still number 17. Number 1 was All India, number 2 was Vellore where I went, but number 17 was still Ludhiana. I saw it and said, I need to tell my dad that. In fact, he's hearing it for the first time right now. Well, I'll tell you about it. So what better than to talk in front of everybody, reminding that the institution that he went to is still a premier institution in that part of the world. My parents were always hardworking. They never complained about anything, especially their work. They were really dedicated to their children. My mom would be there when we were sick. Remember? Every time we were sick, she'd take time off and sit with us the entire day, baby us, put us napkins on our head, and we'd be just sitting there being spoon-fed. I don't know what we were eating, but we were eating something. But we enjoyed it. We really enjoyed that. And we try to do the same for our children. Sometimes when I don't do that, I feel guilty. And you guys set an example. It's a standard. It's tough to follow, but you've got to do it. One of the highlights of my dad's career too was when he, in 1986, remember he got the President's Award for Academic Excellence? And I happened to go for him for that ceremony. I know he was really happy that I came with him for that. My mom couldn't come, she had to stay at home and hold the fort with my brother and sister who were there and take care of the home. But that was really good. I was really proud to be there. I looked up when I saw you getting the award from the President of India. I thought, this is great. Something to look forward to. I want to hopefully follow in your footsteps one day. I have to share this memory before, just because it kind of defines how I came here. I was interviewing for US residencies in 1994, or 93, I'm sorry. I went to the US consulate, and when I went to the consulate officer, he looked at me and said, I know you're not going to come back. Once you come to the US, I'm not going to give you a visa. I was heartbroken because I already got my interview set here. So I went out, my dad was outside because he couldn't come with me for the interview, it's one-on-one. He asked me what happened. He saw my face, like I was really downtrodden. I'm not going to make it. We have to find something back here in India. He said, and I told him what happened. Fortunately, my dad, being, as you all mentioned, a connector, he had so many connections because of his position. He knew somebody who knew the ambassador or somebody high up in the US consulate because of his connections as principal. An hour later, I went back, and the chief consular officer of the consulate came, and he personally stamped my visa and said, you can go. So I'm actually really grateful for that, because that opened the doors for me to come here, settle down, get married, and now we're all here. And I owe that to your love and connection that you show to people. They reciprocate back. He didn't do it because you forced him to. I mean, you had no hold on him. He just loved you like you loved him. And then he showed it in the form of helping me. So it's a thing that I want to live up to. I think, can I ever match my dad in what he's done and what he's accomplished? Not just in accomplishments, but I realize a lot of what you have is because of your love for God. And so I place God first, and I know He'll take care of stuff. But I wanted to mention that I've seen that in your life, in Mama's life. You both place God first. And you've told me many times, God is nobody's debtor. He doesn't owe anybody a debt. If you serve Him, He will take care of you. And then you can't say, God, I did stuff for you and you never gave me back. No, He will never be in anybody's debt. God is always God. So if you're in His service, He will take care of you. And that's what I've seen in your lives. You've instilled God-fearing values in all of us, all three of us, ever since we've been growing up. We thank you for that. You sacrificed your careers and your personal wealth for us, and I know that. We all three children know that, and we're touched by it, and we love you for it. I want to wish you many, many more anniversaries. If I had a glass here, I'd give you a toast. And I hope when we go back, when we go back after this, we will have some champagne, maybe, and toast to this anniversary and for many more to come. We all love you, and from all three of us, I know Alina's going to talk next, but I'll just say for all three of us, we love you and God bless you.
Before Alina talks, I want Senior Pastor Lehman and Sister Pastor Diane to say a few words and pray and bless us, as they have tons of things to do and they have given them the time, and we will continue with that. So we are here, and both of them are my mentors, and they are